What's up, everybody? Phil with Photo Gear Fun here today. Just wanted to have a live stream. I haven't done a live stream in a while. Talk a little bit about the camera deals that are on now for, well, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But there are quite a few good deals out. You can see in the thumbnail if you've looked at it. A couple of my favorite cameras are on sale. So I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about the camera deals that are out there, what I consider to be a good deal, those types of things. And I've got some examples of them here with me so we can have a look at them, but I wanted to jump over to Amazon and check out some of the deals that we have. So I'm going to just give folks a minute or so to jump in there while I have a quick sip of water, and then we'll jump over to the deals. All right, I'm showing you Amazon links. There's a link, if you're watching this live, there's a link to my Amazon store. You can go there and shop. There are some recommendations there, but if you go over there and shop and you buy anything, I do get a small commission at no extra cost to you. It's an affiliate link. So if you choose to shop and you shop at Amazon, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. First one I wanted to check out was one of my favorite little cameras. This is the Panasonic ZS70, which I have a couple of reviews on. It's a compact super zoom camera that has a flip up screen. I put this Winsock / Dead Cat on there, but it's a 30x zoom. And again, it comes in this little small package. It does have a flash. And you can see the back screen. Panasonic probably packs more features than anybody else in their cameras. You definitely get more money for the dollar when you buy a Panasonic camera. So this is a great little camera. I've taken it with me to the zoo here in North Carolina. I've taken it with me to a number of different places, including Walt Disney World. So for $299, I think you might be able to find it for a little bit less, maybe $279 or so. That's on sale from, I think it normally sells for $400. There is a new version of this, but this is one that I own and one that I use quite a bit. You can look at some of the specs again. So when I talk about good deals, I'm talking about them in camera terms. And I know $300 is a lot of money, and some of these will be more than that. But these are kind of relative in the camera world. If you're looking for this type of camera for $300, I think it's a pretty darn good deal. We have the Canon PowerShot, and this is a 40x zoom. So it's similar to, and this one will turn on. You can see the zoom will actually, lens will zoom out, 40x zoom, and it's got a flip screen. This does 4K, as does the Panasonic. So these are both 4K video cameras. They shoot regular photos as well. This one's on sale for $349. Let me just show you the screen here. That would probably help. But this is the Panasonic. And you can, again, you kind of saw that, but some of the specs on it, the price is $299 again. I think you can find it for less in other places. And this is the Canon that we're looking at now. Another good camera, good travel camera, 40x zoom, pretty good image quality. Very, very simple to use. There's an automatic mode that you can use, and you'll be able to just basically point and shoot, which is the type of camera that this is. It's called a point and shoot camera. Now, these are, I don't really have examples of these next cameras, but Fuji is one of my favorite brand of cameras. Really like shooting with Fuji. This is the X-T100, and this is maybe a year old or so. This is a $400 camera. Normally it's $600, so it's on sale for $400 with the 15 to 45 kit lens. It's a pretty good lens to get you started. The image quality is pretty good. Autofocus, maybe not as good as some of the higher end, like we'll look at an X-T20. The X-T20 is probably going to be a little better in the autofocus, but this is definitely a good starter camera. They kind of geared this towards people that were stepping away from their smartphone and want to get into a camera where you can change your lenses. And this is a pretty good entry point into that. The touchscreen is very intuitive. It's very easy to use. I've seen videos on this. Again, I don't personally own this one, but that is the Fuji X-T100 camera. We'll talk a little bit about action cameras as well. And one of the, I guess you can call it premier action cameras is the Hero. And this is the GoPro Hero 6, but what I'm going to show you is the 7. I do have a 7. I just couldn't dig it up. I'm not exactly sure where it is. It's somewhere in the office. But we'll take a look at the GoPro Hero 7. And this is the black version, so it's on sale. Depending on where you look, but basically it's normally I think around 400, or maybe since the 8 came out, maybe it's not quite that expensive, but this is a pretty good sale for a camera that is waterproof right out of the box, so you don't need a special case for this. It's small, obviously. It shoots 4K video as well. It uses micro SD cards. It's probably the standard, again, for action cameras. Everybody knows what a GoPro is probably, and this one is one of the better ones, although the Hero 8 came out with better stabilization, maybe a few different features, but the stabilization on the 7 is really good. So if you're looking to get into the action camera market, you definitely could do worse than this Hero 7. Got the DJI Osmo, oops, wrong one, Osmo Action as well, which is what you see here. And this is similar to the GoPro. It's waterproof. This one actually has a removable lens cover, as does the Hero 7. So if you want to add filters to that, maybe some filters to cut down on the light, you can certainly do that. But the big thing here is a front-facing screen. So with this Osmo Action, it's on sale for $279. I think it was originally $399, $379. But it's the same basic, it has the same basic features and functions as the GoPro. So again, it's waterproof right out of the box. The battery life is very similar. It takes a micro SD card, but it does have that front-facing screen. So if you're going to use this for vlogging or videos where you want to see your frame, you can see it either from the front or the back. So there's a good size back screen here as well. And we've got the Osmo Pocket, which is let's see if the battery is working here. It's just this cool little camera on a gimbal that keeps your shot super steady. And that's on sale for $329. I think maybe I paid $379 for this when I first got it. So this allows you to do a lot of different things. One of the things that I like doing with this particular camera is doing what they call a motion time lapse. So you can set the camera down, you can set a start point and an end point for your time lapse, and it will take a picture every so often, and it will also move the gimbal head slightly, so you get that motion as well as the time lapse effect. And I did this in a video from Walt Disney World. I took this to Disney with me and used it quite a bit, mostly for the motion time lapse, but it's also a good vlogging camera. And on the bottom here, there's a USB-C port. You can actually use that for a microphone adapter, which I have, and you can plug in a lavalier mic for that. So the sound coming out of it actually is not too bad as long as you don't cover up the mics. But again, this is on sale for $329 with 128 gigabyte SD card. So a pretty good deal. You can see the accessories that it comes with, really not a ton, but you can connect this to your phone as well. So if you want a bigger screen, you basically just plug in, this is my Samsung phone, you plug it in, and then your phone becomes a larger screen and you can do different things with it. It's easier to set up a motion time lapse if you're using your screen, but you don't have to. I've done it without the screen. Jumping back into the Fujis, this is a newer release. It was released this year. The Fuji XA, sorry, this is the XA5 was released last year. The XA7 was released this year, so this is on sale for $50. So that the XT100 is kind of their lowest end camera that you can change the lens on. And then this next step up would be the XA5. So the XA5 is on sale for $50 off. Again, it comes with an interchangeable lens. So if you want to get into the Fuji system, and I love the Fuji system whenever I go out to do just strictly photography, although the Fujis that I have do great video, and the XA5 does pretty good video as well. But whenever I want to do just straight photography, when I'm out on the town for my Bowl City Pictures Instagram or just going out to take photos, I take my Fuji with me. And I've got a 10 to 24, which is a wide angle lens, and then an 18 to 55, which is kind of a wide to mid telephoto, and those two lenses usually for what I do in the city get me there. But this is a good camera. Again, the autofocus is not going to be as good as the X-T20, which we'll see next, but it's a solid camera. It's got a flip screen. So the X-T100 and the X-A5 both have flip out screens, which those are the only two lines, the X-T100 and the X-A line, that have flip screens in the Fuji world right now. So the X-T20, and this comes with that same 15 to 45 lens, kind of a step up. This is on sale for $600. I believe it's usually around $800 with this lens. So this will give you a different sensor. It's roughly the same megapixels, but it's a different sensor called X-Trans sensor, which the image quality is a little bit different, better or worse. I guess it's a matter of what your personal preference is. But I use the X-T20 for, oh boy, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Again, it's a nice, solid little camera. The thing about Fuji is they have a lot of knobs and dials on the camera, as you can see here. So you don't have to look into your menus as much. Some menu systems, and even on Fuji, they're okay, but Sony menu systems can be very confusing. So a lot of what you need to do from settings perspective, you can do on these Fuji cameras very easily with tactile buttons and dials, and it makes it really easy for you to change when you're out there kind of in the heat of the moment, to change the settings that you need very quickly. So this is the X-T20 again, great camera. The X-T30 is the most recent iteration of this. I believe that's on sale as well, but maybe not as deep a sale as this is. So if you're looking to get into a really kind of good Fuji camera that won't break the bank, X-T20 is definitely worth a look. Let's see. We'll talk about a couple more cameras here. Wanted to see if anybody has any comments, but not seeing any comments. So let's jump right back into this. We'll look at a Sony camera. As I was talking about the Sony menu systems, and they can be a little bit confusing. This is the Sony Alpha or A6000. This is kind of the camera that started it for Fuji, as far as them being recognized as a mirrorless camera provider that is good quality. It's a fairly old camera. In camera years, it might be, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years old. But this one is very similar to what I have here, which is the A6500. So there's no flip up screen. You've got a flip out screen here, but it doesn't flip up. The A6400, which is what I'm using to film this on, does have the flip up screen, and the newer model, the A6600, A6100, which replaces this, does have a flip up screen. But the A6000 was a camera that I started out with on my Sony Trek, and I do use quite a few Sony cameras now, and it's still a solid camera. There's a problem with it overheating, and it only shoots 1080p video. But if you're looking to get somebody a really solid mirrorless camera, certainly this is a good deal for $450. Hey Rob, welcome. Kind of going through this, we can go back and talk a little bit more about some of these deals, but I think these deals are probably going to hang around until the end of Christmas. I think they're being labeled as Cyber Monday deals or Black Friday, late Black Friday deals, but I think they're going to stick around for a while. So this is the Sony A6000. There's also a sale on the Sony A7. I'll grab that here. So this is one of the best, in my mind, and everybody obviously has a different opinion, but one of the best hybrid cameras. And hybrid meaning for pictures and videos, this is a great camera. And they just recently put this one on sale. This one was selling like crazy, and this one does not have a flip up screen, but this is what they call a full frame sensor. And if you can see that sensor, it's just the sensor is bigger, so it gathers more light, and you have some more advantages with using a full frame sensor. But this is the A7 III, and again, they just started the sale on this one. It's $200 off, so you can get it instead of for $2,000, you can get it for $1,800, or it comes with a kit and the kit lens, I think, and that's $2,200 or so. And this, thanks, Rob. Hopefully those lights in the back don't die. Just got some colored lights kind of sitting down there. But this is a camera, again, if I'm going to go out and take photos, and I know I'm going to do a little bit of video, this is a camera that goes with me just about every time. I've used this for vlogging, even though there's no flip up screen. The autofocus on this is so good and so reliable that I did some Disney trips where it's just, you know, pop it up, hold it by the lens, and there is what they call in-body stabilization on this camera. So this is on the expensive end. I understand that. It was a $2,000 camera. It's now $1,800, so it's still a pretty good discount. But I understand that that's pretty expensive. But in the camera world, it's really not. And for all this one does, it does a really good job meeting that kind of, in my mind, the price to value proposition. So Rob, anything you're looking at for camera gear? I know you're a bit of a gearhead yourself. Anything you get your eye on? Let me see if I can find that listing for the A7. See what we can do here. Right, actually, so the deal with it was $2,200. So this is the kit with the lens. So it's $2,000. So basically, for $1,800 you can get the camera, or for just with the body only, or for another $200 you can add the lens. And I use this lens quite a bit. It's not Sony's greatest lens, but it's a lens that has a good focal range and definitely will get you started. And it will cover, like if you're traveling, a lot of what you would need for travel photography. So that's, again, $2,000. SD cards are always a big hit. SD cards you can find, you know, anywhere from $15 to $40, depending on the size. If you're going to go for SD cards, I'd recommend just go ahead and get 128 gigabyte. That seems to be the sweet spot right now. You can get 64 really inexpensively, and the 128 for me seems to be a good sweet spot. Too many to mention, yeah, I know. If you take a look, let's see if the camera will focus back there. There's a little bit of the gear. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah, gimbals. So that's a good point, Rob. This is by far my favorite gimbal, and this is the M2. Let's see if I can find, there we go. The Zhiyun, not sure how you pronounce it, Zhiyun, the Crane M2. This is made for smaller cameras. So my favorite all-around camera is this little Sony RX100. I don't believe it's on sale. You might be able to find it. This RX100 Mach 7. And on my channel, I've done reviews. I've also used this for vlogging, and it's just a tremendous camera. It does so much. It's very expensive at $1,200. Again, you might find it maybe for $1,100. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any sales on it. But it's got the flip-up screen. It's got a super zoom lens. It goes from 24 to 200. It's got a 1-inch sensor, which is bigger than a lot of compact cameras, so you can let in a little bit more light. But this, in combination with this gimbal, is great. The problem I find with gimbals personally is that I don't take them when I'm traveling. So even though this is small, and it really is small, I've got a full-size gimbal that is probably 3 times this size. Even though it's small and compact and all of that, and it's, you know, it's plastic, but it's pretty well built, I just don't take it with me. And I think probably a lot of people will find that with gimbals. But Rob, I think you might do some work that would, and I think you probably do use gimbals, right? But work where you can take advantage of what the gimbal will offer. For me, it would be just bringing it to get a little more stable vlog. And my vlogs I don't share on this Photogear Fun channel. They're really just more for memories. And if it's a little shaky, that's all right. But actually this A7, or sorry, this RX100 Mach 7 is just an amazing camera. And if I were looking to get into vlogging and doing some photography and just kind of starting out a YouTube channel, this or the A6400, which is filming us right now. So the A6400 looks a lot like this. This is an A6500. The biggest thing is it has a flip-up screen, and they both have inputs for microphones. So if you want to get good sound, I'll show you this on the RX100. So there's a 3.5mm jack in there, and I bought this little Saramonic mic for $25 that just kind of hangs off and you can rotate it. So for vlogging, you can move it front or backwards. Let me see. I probably should have gotten that out. I'm not sure where it is. Oh, here we go. So this is another good gift. $25 is what I paid, but you just plug the mic in. Easy for me to say. So you plug the mic in. I bought these dead cats or covers. So if you're vlogging and you're behind the camera, you move the mic, or then if you're in front of the camera, you move the mic. And it does a pretty good job, gives you pretty good sound. And I bought a case, and this will fit into the case. So my last trip to Disney a few weeks ago, a month ago, I guess, I just brought this camera, and there's some tape on here. So one of the things is that this is not necessarily a good grip. The surface is pretty smooth. So this is just what they call gaff tape. It doesn't look great, but it actually gives your finger something to hold on to. And this does have a little pop-up viewfinder. And this is not a sales pitch for the RX100, but this is just a spectacular camera. It does super slow motion, 960 frames per second, something like that, which I use this for some hummingbirds to capture their wings fluttering. It does a really good job. So this might be a gift for yourself if you're looking for it. But this would actually make a pretty good studio camera. So it doesn't have as big a sensor as the A6400, which means you might need lights that are a little bit more powerful. But man, this is a good camera. But back to the gimbal, sorry. Big detour there. That gimbal, Zoom Crane M2, works so well with these smaller cameras, and even will fit. I tried it with this A6500, and this is the Sony 10-18 lens, so it's a good vlogging lens. I got this used from my buddy Gary, the Everyday Dad. I got this used from him for $500. I think it goes for maybe $700 new or something like that, but it's an expensive lens, but you can find it used, and this one's in good shape, and it really makes a good vlogging lens, so you have that really wide angle. And yeah, the MacBook 16, I just shot a video, and I've been a lifelong PC user. So I'm shooting this, doing everything for this live stream on my PC, my desktop PC. But I recently got the 16-inch MacBook, and I've used Mac OS before, so it wasn't that difficult to transition for me as far as the operating system goes, because I use them at work. But I also edit in Adobe Premiere, which costs me, it's $50 a month for the entire package. So it's you know, $500, $600 a year just to have the software. And yes, they do update it. But the last video I edited, which was a review of a couple bags, you'll see that on the channel if you look. I used the MacBook to edit, and I used Final Cut, and I really love Final Cut. So if there are video editors out there, Final Cut to me is, having pretty much only used Premiere, and just starting out in Final Cut, I found it so easy to transition. I really, really like the Final Cut software. So I might be switching over and dropping my Adobe. I do use Adobe products for photo editing to Lightroom and Photoshop, but I found some alternatives to that. Affinity Photo is like Photoshop, and then Luminar 4 used to do my editing for photos. So I might be switching off the Adobe platform. We'll see how it goes with this Mac, but yeah, the MacBook 16 is quite a machine. It rendered a 6.5-minute video, just over 6.5-minute video in a 4K video with color corrections and all that, in probably half time, 3.5, 4 minutes, something like that. So it's a pretty incredible machine so far. The only thing is, Rob, you know, I tried to use it for live streaming because I like that Ecamm live software, and the fans are so loud. And when you're stressing out the system, those fans for a live stream is really not going to work very well. So that was pretty much what I wanted to cover. And just get this live stream out there. I haven't done it in a while. Looks like I'm dropping some frames here. My internet connection to do a 4K. This is a 4K stream. To do a 4K stream, you kind of need a strong internet, and I do have it, but it's raining here. Sometimes when it rains, the connection gets a little wonky. So it does look like maybe there's some skipping a video. Sorry, looking at the software that I use, but hopefully this went pretty well. I think that's going to be it, unless, Rob, you have any final questions or comments, but that'll do it. There are plenty more deals out there. I just figured I'd kind of start in that $300 and $400 range. There are a lot of cameras available this year. Maybe there are every year. I've just been paying attention this year. But if you have somebody in your family that's looking to get into photography, those first two cameras, and we'll just do a quick recap of those two cameras that I think are just spectacular deals right now. And that is the Lumix ZS70, 4K, flip up screen, pretty good vlogging camera. It's a little bit tight as far as the lens goes, so it's not as wide angle as maybe some people would like for vlogging. But again, look on my channel if you want to see this in action. I've got a couple videos, or maybe even a few videos with this, and I compare it to the next camera we'll talk about just to wrap things up. But it's a 20 megapixel sensor. It's got the same sensor basically as a cell phone would have. So it's not quite as big as the RX100, which I was showing you earlier. So in lower light, it might not do as well, but you just, for $300, you kind of have to make some trade-offs, and that's one of the trade-offs. It's not going to do great with low lights for either video or photography, but it has so many features. It's unbelievable. If you buy a Panasonic camera, or you've had a Panasonic camera in the past, you'll see, or you'll know what I'm talking about. 4K, post-focus, you can shoot a shot and choose later where you want the focus to be. It's got live cropping where you can crop into a picture and kind of make some motion. So on my videos, if you've seen any of my videos where I do product shots, I use a Panasonic G9 to do that live crop. So it's a 4K sensor, and you can basically select your start and your end points, and it will move for you, pan, zoom, tilt, all that kind of stuff for you. So it does a really good job of that, and that's pretty much in all of the Panasonic cameras. So value for dollar, $300, absolutely my number one recommendation. Great camera. Again, don't expect miracles from it in lower light like you would some other cameras that you pay much more for, but really great camera. And then this Canon PowerShot. This is a 40x optical zoom. Panasonic is a 30, so you get more reach with this. Canon's really made to be simple camera. Good video quality. Again, I've got a video on the channel on this. Took it to Disney. Took some pictures and some video, so you can see that 4K video. It's really kind of a point and shoot where, in its truest sense, it's automatic. So you just put it on, you select video or photos, and the camera kind of takes care of everything for you. Or with the Panasonic, you can customize it a little bit more, but it's, it's a pocketable camera for sure. It fits in your pocket, no problem, or you can buy a case for it. Pretty good battery life, same thing with the Panasonic. Just in my mind, again, really good cameras to use for travel in good light and low light. Neither one of them is really going to be great, but those are my two recommendations. And then for an action cam, obviously, if you're looking for an action camera, the Hero 7 right now is hard to beat. You can get that for $300. It's rough, it's rugged, good video quality, pretty good audio quality, waterproof, all that good stuff. The hyper smooth stabilization is incredible, and there are tons of videos out there. I don't remember if I did one on the GoPro or not, but there are so many videos out there on the GoPros that you can find that will give you a little bit more information. So that's going to wrap it up. Get out there and have your photo gear fun. Thank you so much for watching this video live, also on the replay. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll leave links to my Amazon store. Again, that's an affiliate link. If you buy anything through that link, we get a little bit of money from that, which is at no cost to you. That does help support the channel. So thank you again. I will talk at you in the next video.